There must have been an angel by my side. Oh my god. What is it? Sade. Sade, Sade. I don't even know how you say her name. Anyways, I was having a conversation with my buddy about mantras, right? Because really the story you tell yourself is it's just a mantra, right? So, oh my god, it's so beautiful out here. You see this sky? Like, look at that sky. Look at this. I'm in paradise. This is amazing. But I think mantras are a limited person's way out. Like it's coming from a limited place, right? The only reason that you it's so funny how things get invented, how things get made up, right? It's like if we were all born like innocent and then we never had anything to interfere with that innocence, mantras wouldn't exist. Mantras are a thing of the time because they come from a limited man's perspective, and that perspective is that I'm telling myself this negative story. I don't like it. So what should I do to counteract it? I should tell myself a positive story. And it's like, logically, it's pretty sound. That makes a lot of sense, right? You know, but it doesn't make any sense if you actually know this space. Like if you actually know it, it makes no sense at all. If you know the truth, mantras make zero sense, and it almost keeps you stuck, in a sense. And I've seen people and heard people, oh my god, I changed my life telling myself this mantra for 21 days, or I did this mantra meditation for 3 years and it changed my life, and I met my soulmate, and it's just like, and it almost is like, oh, that sucks, because now it's almost promoting the usage, right? Like it gives off like, hey, like mantras are good, like use them, they work, and it keeps you from actually experiencing freedom, which is the lack of a negative story. Right? Like you only want to tell yourself a positive story because of the presence of a negative story. If you never experienced a negative story, you never would have been aware of it and then came up with the idea to tell yourself a positive story. So let's take you back in time to a place where you never told yourself a story at all. You were just pure, you were just innocent, you were free, right? There was nothing weighing you down. There was nothing holding you back, right? That negative story. Positive stories would not be a thing. Does that make sense? Are you guys following me? So it's and I think Neville Goddard talks about this a lot. And me and my best friend, we're very big fans of Neville. But as I get further and further into this work, I'm only following one mentor right now. And that advice alone has changed my life. I used to get into the space and follow a million different fucking mentors. I've picked one mentor, and I'm literally studying him every single day. Like until I am him on a cellular level, I'll keep studying him. And even when I am him on a cellular level. And when I say him, like, I'll still be me. I'll just be me, but the version of him, right? And, that might not make, like, not that I'm saying I'm going to be him. I'm going to be the Paul Tully version of Peter Crone, if that makes sense. So, but so me and my friend, we got to a discussion, and, he's like, no, I want to do mantras, and it's like, I get it. It makes sense from that limited perspective. The limited perspective that you are telling yourself negative stories. That is the only reason. That is the conception point of positive stories. And mantras is, I am telling myself this and I don't want to tell myself this. Or, I want to get this and I don't have it, right? And that's a whole nother video, by the way, because that's suffering, that's resistance. And I'm gonna make another video on that, so don't worry about that. But you don't need, like, you can have all the money you want, you can have the woman you want, a woman or multiple women or whatever lifestyle you want. You could have it without telling yourself positive things. It's not right. It's what I'm really learning about life is, and this is physical health. This is, you could call, I don't like the word spiritual health. I need to come up with another name for it. This is mind health, right? Freedom of the mind. But you already are all of those positive things you are telling yourself. You don't need to tell yourself that. You just need to get rid of what's in the way of that, right? And that's why you're telling yourself positive stories, because you're like, yo, I have this negative story, right here, this layer of soil. Let me just put another layer of healthier soil on top. And it's just like that. That doesn't really, that's not my philosophy, So even though it works, I've seen plenty of results and whatnot. It's just, yeah. I forgot exactly what I was going to say. I lost my train of thought. But if you got rid of this negative story that's in the way, you would just experience all of the positive stories without having to tell yourself anything. And I'm telling you, it's a beautiful place to be, right? Because you're staying in the same area. You're still staying in your head. The negative story is happening in your head, so then you tell yourself a positive story, which is you still staying in your head. I don't want to be in my head at all, right? And I would even argue that, a positive story is, you're still in your head, and that's not the end goal, right? The end goal is to I guess, be selfless in a sense. So yeah, you don't need to tell yourself mantras. You can get to where you want to go. And I'd even argue even further, because now you're not using time and attention and bandwidth to tell yourself a story. You know what I'm saying? Possibility is just always occurring. Like now, like in the moment, it's always occurring. There's always a possibility, endless possibility, endless, potential, right? Yeah, that's the video. I had a whole nother idea on what to talk about and what to say that I felt like would have hit much harder, but I kind of lost it in the process. But yeah, you don't need mantras. You just, because again, like, mantras are like, if you knew what I knew, and the main thing is that you already are that. Right? If you already are, let's just say hypothetically for this example, if you're limitless, if you're timeless, if you're boundless, right? If you're just this infinite source, and you believe in this lie that you're not good enough, you're not this, you telling yourself a positive mantra, sure, it might get you a little bit closer to it. But I'm a big fan of getting rid of both of them, because then you realize what you are. You know what I'm saying? And then you don't have to tell yourself that. You just experience that. You know what I'm saying? So, like, for example, if you're not good enough, right? You don't have to tell yourself that. You will find it in things that you cannot even find it in. You'll find it in. You will create evidence. It's the same thing. Like, so imagine that experience, right? Just follow me here. This is a good train track to follow. Is that if you don't have to tell yourself all of these things that you don't like, imagine not having to tell yourself, like, imagine the opposite of that, right? Imagine just automatically just seeing all of the love, all of the infinite possibilities and potential and creativity and abundance and all of that stuff, right? All of those fancy spiritual blah 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 words, right, that people will use. Imagine if that was just your existence without you having to tell yourself anything. Which one would you want more? You know what I'm saying? It's just like the one that you have to sit there and say in the mirror every morning, you know, and listen to audio hypnotic, you know, hypnosis tracks. It's like, no, like you just want to know that's who you are. You know what I'm saying? And you don't have to tell yourself who you are. It will be reflected back to you. Just the way it is now, you're just not enjoying that experience because it's showing you the things that you don't like, you know? But yeah, so you don't need mantras.